What is H1B visa? Who is eligible to apply? H1B quota and fees. H1B registration process. And some key facts about H1B visas. So, let's get started. H1B visa is a non-immigrant visa in the United States. By non-immigrant, it means that the visa is temporary and the person coming to the U.S. with this visa cannot permanently reside in the United States. The H1B visa is valid for 3 years, with an additional 3-year extension, making 6 years maximum stay in total. This visa is issued to employ foreign workers in specialty occupation. By specialty occupation, it refers to the theoretical and practical application of a body of highly specialized knowledge. While there are several areas and categories which may qualify for specialty occupation, there is a preference given to occupations that focus on science, technology, engineering, and management. Let us now see who's eligible to apply for a H1B visa. One of the basic requirements for H1B is education. To qualify for the H1B visa category, the employee must have a 4 years U.S. bachelor's or higher degree, or its equivalent. If the foreign degree is 3 years bachelor's degree, a 3 years of work experience in the same or similar field can be considered to 1 year additional education, and such cases are also eligible for H1B. The second category to be considered for H1B visa is that this is issued only for employment in a specialty occupation, which we just saw. So, do you fit into this category? If yes, then congratulations, you can apply for a H1B visa, but wait, how should you apply? Let us now see the steps involved to apply for a H1B visa. This will give you a fair idea on the H1B visa application process. This process can be broken down to 4 major steps. The first step, for a person wishing to apply for a H1B visa, is to find a H1B sponsor. The H1B sponsor should be a U.S. employer, who should employ you, and willing to sponsor the visa for you, to travel and work, in the United States. So, once you are employed, and the employer has agreed to sponsor the visa for you, we move to the next step. The second step is that the employer submits the LCA to the Department of Labor. LCA stands for Labor Condition Application, which gives information about pay, location and working conditions to the DOL. By completing this step, the employer attests to the government that the applicant will receive a wage that is at par with the prevailing wage conditions in the work location, and that this work will not harm other already employed associates. Basically, there are some requirements set up by the DOL, which the LCA has to meet. Once LCA is approved, we move to the third step, which is to file petition for non-immigrant worker, Form I-129. This includes the fees, education and experience documents, training certificates, any professional membership documents, the applicant's resume, employment agreement, and letter of support. Once the petition is approved, the last step is for the applicant to process their visa at their home country's U.S. Embassy office or consulate. Now, coming to the visa quota and the fee structure. Every year, the USCIS, which is the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, issues 65,000 visas, with 20,000 additional visas, for foreign professionals who graduate with a master's degree or doctorate from the U.S. For citizens of Chile and Singapore, 6,800 visas are reserved under the special H1B1 visa. The number of applications that U.S. receives for H1B visa is increasing year on year. In 2019, over 200,000 applications were received, but due to the strict limits, only 65,000 visas were granted. To select this, a lottery system is followed. This means that there is no guarantee that, even if you qualify, you will be awarded your visa. The H1B lottery is a computer-generated random selection process that the USCIS uses to randomly pick H1B visa applicants to approve. This process was put in place in response to the high number of H1B applications that were received every year, that way surpass the visa quotas. Moving on to the cost of filing a H1B. Filing an H1B application is not cheap, but fortunately, most of the filing costs are paid by the employer who sponsors the applicant. Here is a breakdown of the fees that are needed to apply for H1B visa. First is the basic filing fee of $460. Next is the ACWIA fees. ACWIA stands for American Competitiveness and Workforce Improvement Act. This fee depends on the number of employees that the employer has. If the employer has less than or equal to 25 employees, the fee is $750, and if the number of employees is greater than 25, then the fee to be paid is $1,500. Then, there is a $500 fraud prevention fee, and finally a $1,440 optional premium processing fee. The premium processing fee is optional, and involved, only if one needs to expedite the processing of the H1B application. By submitting this fee and applying for premium processing, one is sure to get a decision from USCIS within 15 calendar days. Now, let us talk about the new registration process that USCIS has changed in 2020. Earlier, the US employers has to submit all the documents pertaining to the applicant, even before knowing whether the applicant will be selected or not in the lottery. So, to reduce the burden on US employers, USCIS has changed the registration process. With the new process, the employer will first register electronically for each foreign national for whom the employer intends to file an H1B petition, and after confirming the selection, the employer can prepare the other documents. The initial registration includes limited information about the US employer and the foreign national, in contrast to the details USCIS requires when the US employer submits an H1B petition. Here is a flow chart which explains the process. As you can see, H1B registration is first received by USCIS, and it goes through the lottery. If selected, notification is sent out to file petition, with the detailed documents within 90 days. If not selected, the process varies based on whether the applicant qualifies for master quota or not. If he does qualify, then there is still a chance for the applicant to get selected. In 2020, roughly 275,000 registrations were submitted during the registration period. Each of the steps involved in the process of H1B visa can be discussed in greater detail, which we will cover in our later videos. And finally, before we wrap up, here are some key facts about H1B visa. 1. You can bring your immediate family members, that is spouse and children, to US along with you, under H4 visa. They can study, but are not allowed to work. The H4 visa is valid as long as the H1B is valid. 2. You cannot be self-employed under an H1B visa. You must be employed by a US-based sponsoring company. 3. The H1B visa itself is strictly limited to the initial 3 years plus possible 3-year extension. However, you may be able to stay longer if you apply for permanent residency or the green card while holding an H1B visa. 4. H1B visa can be a multiple entry visa, which allows a person to travel in and out of US for any number of times within the specified visa validity period. 5. An H1B holder is eligible to seek permanent residency to USA. He has to apply for a change of status through the Form I-485, which is the green card process. 6. H1B visa can be transferred to a new employer. You can also start working for new employer upon the receipt of H1 transfer case. Well, that's it for today. Hope this video was useful, and you got some idea on H1B visa.